Hello, my name's Ali Kempson and I write and talk about ME, chronic fatigue syndrome, here and on my blog, Living an Everyday Kind of Life. Today I'm going to be talking about booming and busting, that far too familiar experience of when you think you've got more energy, you do more and then wham, bam, you feel worse than ever. If you prefer to read rather than to listen, have a look in the details below because there's a link to the written version of this on my blog. So the reason why I'm talking about this right now is because although I've recovered from ME, chronic fatigue syndrome, I had a bad fall on ice about 4 months ago and the recovery was slow. I had a lot of tiredness. I got to the point where I thought I could do more. I did more and then I really felt it. So what did I do? The 7 R's I worked out when I thought about it. The first thing I did was I radically rested. I was already resting once or twice a day before that setback for 30 minutes. It took me a few days to accept that I was in a setback. When I decided to have a lie down I decided to have a lie down every hour, a massive increase. This really helped me. To me, it's like setbacks are when your body needs I've just got kind of ill help. It needs lots and lots of help and nurturing. You're in an acute phase rather than a chronic phase. So rest accordingly. The second thing I realised I needed to do was to reassure myself. Because as soon as I realised what had happened, I started to panic and criticise myself. How could I? What did I do wrong? How stupid was that? Why didn't I see that coming? Gradually and slowly, I managed to reassure myself by using all the tools that I often use. You will have your own set. For me, it was things like self-compassion meditations. It was tapping or EFT as I use. My counselling that I have each week. And using loving words, so switching away from how I'm stupid to, okay, I can see how that happened. I just need to rest now. This reassurance helped me so much. So do what you can to calm and reassure yourself. The other thing I did early on was to reduce everything. So by having rest a day, I had automatically reduced everything. But then I realised a couple of days in that I'd reduced everything physically, but I was still doing a lot emotionally and mentally, particularly when I was having these rests. I got into this panic, as I was talking about, meant I was so desperate to move forward and so frustrated. I was choosing meditations and tapping scripts that are all about move forward, when in fact what I actually needed to do was to rest mentally, physically and emotionally. So reducing everything is really key. So luckily for me, it was a very small setback. So within 4 or 5 days, I was feeling a lot better. But I knew that if I returned too quickly, I was going to get into problems. So I took it very easy getting back to what I was doing just before the setback. I reintroduced activities at a lower level and I was confident I was ready to do more. It's taken me quite a few years to actually be able to do this, to realise that if I reintroduced things too quickly, I was going to have problems. But if you can, aim for reintroducing activities slowly. Something else that was key for me was reflecting. Once my brain was feeling a little bit better, once some of the brain fog had disappeared, I was able to think back and see how the setback had happened, and this helped me to avoid any future setbacks and helped me to learn about how my body was behaving in this new scenario for me. I could see that I'd stepped up things too quickly. I could see that I'd put other needs before mine. whatever the mixture that's taking you into your boom, and then your bust cycle will be different. But those were some of the factors for me. Reflection to me is one of the keys to learn to identify how and why you boom. And if you don't boom, you won't bust. It takes time, but it's really key. Something else that I needed to do was to restore my confidence. One of the things that brought on the setback was increasing my walks too quickly. So I just didn't want to walk. I'd been actually walking an hour, a couple of hours before the setback. I didn't even want to walk 5-10 minutes. But once I could see what I was doing, I was able to take care of myself. I could reassure myself and restore my confidence by just doing small enough walks to then build up slowly. It's important, it's easy to lose confidence from a setback, and it's important to know where you have lost that confidence and to do what you can to restore it. The last one, maybe the most important one, was reevaluating and readjusting. I'd already reflected on what had caused it, but now I need to reevaluate my whole style of progress, of improving my whole approach to my recovery. And in a way, setback, once you got to a place where, or once I'd got to a place where I wasn't self-critical, I could see it with compassion, it was actually, there were loads of gems in there. I could see how I was so desperate to improve that I was just pushing myself too hard. It has a lot of value if you can see it. So I also find that they're really great for re-motivating me to do all that I need to do to recover, because often you need such a structure about recovering. It's easy to lose motivation, and a setback can reignite that motivation. So there's a lot more about learning from booming and busting and controlling them than I can talk about here. So think of this as just either an introduction or a reminder. You're going to need, in a way, a whole manual about even each different topic I've talked about here. Let's hope that this has given you a bit of incentive, a bit of encouragement to go off and do that. If you want any more resources, there's some at the bottom of my blog post. Have a look below for the link. And now let's just go for those, remind ourselves of those 7 R's again. If you've not been looking at the screen, these are all going to show now, and you can do a screenshot and keep it as a reminder if that helps. So radically rest, reassure, reduce everything, return carefully, reflect, restore confidence, reevaluate and readjust. Thank you so much for listening. Really hope this helps. Bye for now.